Why are so many Asian Americans so silent right now? That's because they didn't vote. Yes, they didn't vote because they didn't like Kamala from their internal misogyny or internal racism and felt indifferent enough about the orange man so that they thought that a no vote was going to the orange man. So the reason why they're not upset right now is because they voted for this. That's why. And that's not me excusing their behavior. I am a disabled person. I was advocating for Kamala before the election, so I had the chance to talk to a lot of my friends. They're not my friends anymore, but people in my life about how this election was going to affect me and people like me. And if they cared about me, why they should vote for Kamala. And they still didn't care. They couldn't care less because at the end of the day, it was all about taxes. Yeah, their tax break. The problem is Asians that have a level of wealth feel this closeness to white people because white people were the only ones that had that level of wealth for so long that they feel like they're getting a chance to be part of the white club, but they're not. And if I could give an insight into maybe why Asians are like this, it's because a lot of our parents and like even my generation as a millennial, we have seen our mother countries very impoverished. Like for me, I'm Korean, so I know South Korea's history. Like South Korea was fully bankrupt in the 80s and saw their first economic boom in the 2000s. It hasn't been that long, and they're in like the top 20 GDP in the world now. That level of wealth growth, normal citizens see that and think, oh my God, if I'm just smart enough and if I invest correctly, I can also get there. And if you look at South Korea, it's an oligarchy. That country is ran by like 3 families, and the main one is the Samsung family. And they have so many scandals. They have done some bad stuff, and the country just lets them get away with it. And if you look at the election turnout, it shows that South Koreans are starting to wake up to the state of like, oh, we're an oligarchy. But Korean Americans, look at the past of Korea, see that you can still succeed,
Okay.
feel like there's a privilege of being in America, utilize the model minority method, and then try to enter the 1%. They think that they could break into the 1%. Wake up. You're not. You're not white enough. You will never be white enough. They will never accept you.
Let's take it from the top. It's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai. So if you're going to report anything to ICE, at least know the freaking name of it. Number 2, in the first Trump administration, there was an agreement signed between Donald Trump and the South Koreans to bring some of their car manufacturing here to the United States. The South Koreans built a factory in the state of Georgia, and recently they have been adding to it, partnering with one of America's companies, LG, to produce electric vehicles, which would have brought billions to the state of Georgia and to the entirety of the United States and put a lot of people to work. Something you MAGA supporters are always complaining about. All of our manufacturing is being shipped overseas. And now that it's back in the United States, you want to open up your big fat Oopa Loopa mouth to ICE to get these people deported. And now all work has had to cease. And we've just damaged our relationship with one of our closest partners in Asia. I mean, do you people not think? It's this type of ignorance and silliness that got us Donald Trump in the first place, because you people just blindly do stuff. And now you just cost the state of Georgia jobs and money. I mean, what a stupid mother...
Did you know you can pay $5 billion just to get humiliated? That's exactly what happened to the Hyundai and LG battery factory in Georgia. By the way, it's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai. Over 500 people were taken, and more than 300 people were Korean national. When the president of South Korea met Trump last month, I couldn't even finish the video.
Oh no.
저의 관여로 남북 관계가 잘 개선되기 쉽지 않은 상태인데 실제로 이 문제를 풀 수 있는 유일한 인물이 트럼프 대통령이십니다.
It was so cringe, the way he was kissing and the translator fighting for his life.
So resolving this issue through my engagement is not an easy thing. And the only person that can make progress on this issue is you, Mr. President.
Apparently, they discussed South Korea's future investment in the US, including energy, mineral, infrastructure. But just in 11 days, South Korea media is saying 뒤통수 맞았다, meaning they got stabbed in the back. US media claims that a lot of them overstayed their visa. But the investigation isn't over, so we'll find out more. Korean netizens are furious. Koreans are all about pride. Having our own people being mass detained, That's not gonna sit well with them for the next maybe 10 years. Some are saying shut down the factory, pull out the investment, bring our people back home immediately. And others are saying they believe Korea is being disrespected because we're a smaller country. And some think US is pushing out Korean workers because they want to replace that with US workers, even though the innovation is from Korea. And surprisingly, a lot of them are saying that Trump is trying to punish Korea for attending this Chinese military parade, marking the 80th anniversary ending World War II. And apparently it was anti-US event. Anyway, this is far from over. It'll be interesting to see if this will change the relationship between South Korea and the US. We'll find out.
Largest immigration rate in the United States history. Why? My name is Lick. In today's video, we are going to talk about how Asian Americans are now getting deported from United States. Why? Remember that credit goes to the owner of the video. We got more video like this. I'll come back with a comment.
A lot of Asian Americans thought that they were exempt from the ICE raids, and they are quickly finding out that that is not the case. Okay, so if you have not heard, a Hyundai plant in Georgia was raided, and a number of South Korean nationals were detained. Now, Hyundai is actually a South Korean car. You know, they are a South Korean car manufacturer, and they were opening new plants in Georgia, and they had sent a number of South Koreans here to help get everything, you know, flowing. And they did have, you know, some of them obviously had visas. Now they're saying they are taking their people back, and there is going to be a pause on this Hyundai plant. Now, mind you, it's not just South Koreans that work there; it's Americans too. And now that plant might not run anymore. They might say, forget the United States, since y'all are detaining our people. Mind you, a white woman who is running for a state representative in a neighboring county actually bragged about making phone calls to ICE about potential illegal workers at the Hyundai plant. And other people who worked at the Hyundai plant called on these people. Mind you, you're working for a South Korean company, and you're calling ICE on South Koreans. Nonetheless, I saw somebody say that they looked up the stats, and over 60% of Asians in Georgia voted for Trump. So they voted for this administration who is doing mass deportations, thinking that it was not going to affect their community. And I seen an Asian girl making a video about it, and she literally said Koreans or Asians are normally not the target, you know, when it comes to deportation. Y'all remember what happened when they fought and sued to get rid of affirmative action, and then their acceptance rates decreased tremendously, while, you know,
That's okay.
acceptance rates of African Americans or black people who they thought were getting in by affirmative action remained the same. They think they are the exception, and every time they find out.
My god, guys. The guy that does that, Dottie Snacks, I really like his videos because, one, it's engaging with that hook that I just did. Two, he stands on business, honestly, when he basically calls out an influencer if it's like outlandish what they're expecting, and just very real guy, at least from what I've seen. But if you are not hip to what is going on in America, dude, politicians are not our friends, especially the ones that are defending Trump. And there's only like a handful of politicians that I see that are actively doing something about it to try and uphold democracy. But basically, ICE did a mass raid on a Hyundai in Georgia, and it rounded up around 475 Koreans mostly. That's what's reported. But if you're a minority and you think, hey, I'm not going to get affected by this, think again. Because one, it's not just like Latinx and Mexican workers. That was Koreans, it's Asians. The model minority thing is a myth, first off. That just pits minorities against each other because it makes it seem like there's better minorities, and it's like, oh, they're in higher paying jobs because they're more qualified. No, it's just basically institutionalized racism in a way, because it makes the classes and groups think that they're competing with each other, when in reality, the people that were still in power are still making the most money. And this is just even more prevalent. Like, if you're not speaking up as a minority in general,
Oh my God.
we're literally seeing the end of democracy as we know it in the US. And that's very concerning because that just happened yesterday, and I'm sure more is going to happen. And they're going to basically hail it as a success. But first off, that's crazy that was in Georgia. It's like outlandish that it was illegally detaining even some people that are like here to work. And because of that, Korea had to basically send all its politicians from DC and one from the embassy to the US to basically try and actually make some action. So I applaud South Korea for doing that, for standing up for its citizens and its people. But dude, what is going on? And to make matters worse, Trump met with the South Korean president like a few weeks ago, talking about like building relationships. I don't know what this is, man, but this is definitely not a good step towards building relationships.
It's the largest raid in U.S. history. 475 workers arrested at a construction site in Georgia. All of these people were construction workers or construction managers building an electric battery plant for Hyundai. All were South Koreans. Governor Kemp of Georgia actively solicited South Korea to spend billions of dollars to build this plant. ICE is proud of themselves. They arrested 475 people, but this exposes a huge conflict in our government right now. Donald Trump is running around the world making deals with countries. And the deal is invest money in the United States and you can avoid tariffs. Yet at the same time, after they invest their billions of dollars, Donald Trump is deporting the workers needed to build the infrastructure to support these investments from these countries. Take, for example, the U.S. battery industry, the actual factory where all these workers were arrested from. Trump is asking to build more battery factories in the United States. Yet 82% of industry leaders said in a recent survey that the United States lacks skilled workers to build these factories and operate these factories. And hundreds of thousands of jobs remain unfilled right now in the United States. So we're asking for investment. We don't have workers to build this investment. We're deporting the workers who are already here that are helping to build these investments. Tariffs are going up. And what countries are going to want to invest in the U.S. if we're arresting their citizens and deporting them?
Last few months, Donald Trump met South Korean president. They were talking about a relationship between two countries. That's why even Korea, try, to bring one of the biggest company, Hyundai, to operate in United States, because when Trump got power, said that I don't need those, products to be, imported from Asia. I need them to operate their company from USA so that it can be increased jobs to the citizen of the country, which is really good. So South Koreans, they are the one, step ahead. So they brought their company, which is even really good. They started to operate from the United States, but this is what happened to them. When you believe in Donald Trump, what you don't know, 60% of those Asian Americans are the one who voted for Trump because they believe Kamala is not going, to help them the way Donald Trump promised them. But this is what happened to when you vote against your interest.
I don't know what everyone's getting excited about. Just more arrests on people that are here illegally. I think the Trump administration is saying it doesn't matter. We're showing you very clearly that this is not racism against the Hispanic community. Doesn't matter, Hispanic, Muslim, or Korean. Just like what's going on down in Georgia. 400 plus people pulled out of a Hyundai plant, Korean nationals. And he's just saying that you are here illegally, which means by the definition of the United States of America, that you are a criminal. And there will be no sanctuary for you. There will be no hiding. And if you get caught, you are going to be deported. Whether it's back to Mexico, over to Canada, over to the Middle East, over to Africa, or over to our friends over in South Korea. Look, if I can give one bit of advice, get the process going. If you want to be a citizen of the United States of America, do whatever you have to do, but let's get the ball rolling. This administration doesn't have a crystal ball. It can't decipher from the good people to the bad people. If we could, then all the bad people were gone, and we would let all the good people continue to chase the American dream. I truly am rooting for all of you. I'd love to see nothing more than all of you become citizens of the United States of America, but we have to do it the proper way. And if you do achieve that dream, at midnight, he'll be the first one here with open arms, ready to give you a big hug and say welcome to the United States of America.
Hell no.
I know I've been posting a lot about the deporting situation, and you know, my mom, like yesterday, she told me, hey son, you should probably not speak too much on this topic because it might cause a problem for us. That's the exact reason why this is a problem. Whenever there's a problem, Asian people go, oh my God, and nothing changes. That's probably the biggest thing that pisses me off about Asian people. You realize the current situation is literally a crime against humanity. Look, I think 70 to 80, 90% of us can agree that if they take illegal immigrants that commit crimes or whatever, look, that's whatever, okay? But they're stripping people of citizenships, and they're also taking people that are citizens. So what the hell does that mean for me? I was born here as a citizen. I can't imagine my mom or my sister, or think about it, like you're a close family member, imagine they just get taken for whatever good reason. And at this rate, they're not even finding a good reason. You know what they're doing? Oh, he's brown, let me take him. Oh, he's yellow, let me take him. That's literally what's going on. So that's why we're in this crisis of literal, ethnic cleansing, if you want to think about it that way. And I'm not exempt because I'm Korean. And then all the Asian influencers watching right now, stop posting about your, here's my favorite boba, or like, oh, here's my get ready with me. No one cares. And at least talk about the topic first to show that you're a human. And then you can start posting about your freaking stupid get ready with me. Oh, here's my favorite boba. Nobody cares about that right now. So at least address the issue, and then you can stroll on with your life. You'll probably gain a lot more followers that way. And who am I to say this when I only have 2,000 followers? Yeah, I know you're probably thinking that, but guess what? There's a lot of things that happens behind the scenes, and I've seen tremendous growth. Thank you guys so much for hearing me out and sharing my content. I appreciate you guys. It's time to go to the Ignacio. Let's go.
Okay.
Trump administration authorized a massive ICE raid on the Hyundai plant in Georgia. 475 workers were detained. Most of them were South Korean citizens. The White House claimed that ICE was just enforcing the law. If you're here for the facts, tap like and follow. This wasn't a normal operation. It was dubbed Operation Low Voltage. It was the largest single-site immigration enforcement in Homeland Security history. ICE agents showed up with armored vehicles and a helicopter circling the $4.3 billion construction site. They detained 475 people, shackling them at the wrist, waist, and ankles before loading them onto a bus. The Trump administration says these workers were illegal aliens. Here's some details. Over 300 were South Korean nationals, here as subcontractors for Hyundai and LG. ICE stated that they were working on a short-term visitor visa or under the visa waiver program, which doesn't authorize employment. Trump's team says it's about protecting American jobs. Here's the thing though, this raid happened just weeks after Donald Trump held a friendly summit with the South Korea's president to celebrate economic ties. South Korea, a critical ally, was blindsided. Their government convened an emergency meeting and called the US release a video showing their citizens in shackles regrettable. And honestly, this should be a massive wake-up call for any Asian American who thinks they're white adjacent or a model minority status will protect them. You are delusional. The Trump administration doesn't give a fuck. Their vision of America is narrow. If you are not white and from a specific background, you are a target. They don't care if you're an engineer from an allied nation building a US factory. They saw an opportunity to send a message about who they believe truly belongs here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and follow.
This is what's happening when you vote against your interest, because most of you guys, that you are the one who voted for, for Trump. But what's happened to you? it's, listen so that next time you will have a good choice. I hope you liked today's video. Share your comments. See you on another one.